Okay, and we're live, guys. We are live, and I need to get something set up here. Sorry, not prepared. I'm not prepared. I'm going to be prepared though. What is going on upstairs? I don't know. So I'm not feeling 100%, guys. I am a little under the weather today, unfortunately. But we are doing this thing. We're doing this thing because we're doing this thing. So I need 1 second to get something going, and how is everybody doing tonight? You know what I noticed? That the colors are getting faded out again on the whole. It used to be that doing it on this browser was better, but that the green colors. I think it's because I'm using the green screen background. That's why. So, you know what, Carrie? I just filmed the EDC Club unboxing today. Just did it. And so we'll see. This is not letting me do what I want. Not at all. So anyway, all right. We're doing this. Sorry. I'm ready to go. The StreamBot element spot is running. Stream elements. Let's see if it works tonight. So my Mountain Dew is a little bit flat, but that's okay. I can deal with that. For sure. Tonight's background is the Master Weapons Director qualification badge. So Carrie, let me ask you: did you get the Wesson knife or did you get the Buck and Bear in the regular box? I'm just curious. Hi, David. How's it going? How are you? I'm kind of curious. Craig, hi. I missed saying hi to folks as we logged on. Alexander, Roman, Dominic, Big B, Carrie. So Carrie, what was in the regular one? The Buck and Bear was in the regular one? Okay. Because I wasn't sure because they didn't specify in the packing list. So they didn't specify what was in the premium versus the regular. So there was actually a really nice Wesson folder it's cold in my kitchen. A really nice Wesson folder in the premium box. And I really liked it. Hey, Christopher, what is going on? Ryan Wilson, hello from Arkansas. Why is it Arkansas? So, anyway, I actually have the Buck and Bear. You know what? I would love to see pictures of the blade of your Buck and Bear so I can compare it to mine so that we could check the pattern. You know what I mean? Like we do. But McKD. Oh yeah, you're back in the hospital. Hey, Kevin. I was supposed to meet up with Kevin this week. I have been not at the shop all week. Damn it, Kevin. I'm going to Smooth On tomorrow. Yeah. No, I don't think this is. Honestly, I don't think this is a fake Damascus, guys. If that's where we're going, I don't think this is. I don't think it's the highest quality Damascus. I think it's I think it's a I think it is a what's the word? Production quality. lower end Damascus knife, as we see very often from some of these companies. Knives are great. How's it going? It's going okay. How's it going for you? Knives are great. It's true. I think that it is a production quality Damascus. I know Buck and Bear has made some great pieces, and they've made some, and they've made some where I look at and I'm like, who is this actually for? Who is going to use this thing? But I just I'm just curious. Like I want to see some other blades, just because I know there are going to be some people that, like in some of the knife groups. I'm still Facebook banned for another 14 days, by the way. But so I can't comment. But some people will say that anything that is not a $1,000 handmade piece from Jay Nielsen is fake. You know what I mean? So, oh, Big B, you have missed my opinion on the. I have spoken on the Ukrainian crisis. Well, I'm wearing this again this week. If that helps. My opinion is that we should not be. I'll sum it up. No, we should not send troops in, because that's just opening a Pandora's box we don't want to get into. I think that the Ukrainians have done an amazing job that no one ever expected them to be able to do with this whole thing. The glare on my glasses is making the camera misfocus. Sorry. That Putin, I don't blame the Russian army. I don't blame the Russian people. I blame 100% Putin. The Russian army is a conscript army that has crazy inexperienced troops, crazy unmaintained gear. I mean, it was not combat ready at all. Yeah. I don't know what the overall goal was. I don't know if they had set goals, but it was one of the worst executed military operations in history. I think that we should provide whatever support we can to the Ukrainians, short of actually engaging in combat operations, because, like I said, that goes nowhere good. But that I know that there's a lot of stuff floating around about the U.S. operated bioweapons labs, which I know for a fact is a bunch of BS in Ukrainian territory, and that's not true. They're former Soviet labs that the U.S. has been helping to slowly dismantle. Chemical and bioweapons labs. What do you think about the U.S. buying weapons? What do I think about buying weapons we left to the Taliban? I hate it, because then we're giving. This is an interesting question. I don't think we should be giving money to the Taliban. I think we should go in and take those weapons and give it to the Ukrainians. I don't think we should be paying the Taliban for a damn thing. Because we have been. Those weapons were for the Afghan National Army, so they never belonged to the Taliban. We shouldn't be paying them for stuff that didn't belong to them. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. This has been a terrible. I've been trying to get people to understand that while and this is not in any way condoning anything that the Russians have done, but the Russian army is full of 18, 19, and 20-year-old conscripts, kids that have been drafted, taken from their homes, given. They serve for a total of a year, right? So the training they have is nil, is just enough to tie their boots, learn which end of the weapon the bullet comes out of, and they've been marched off to war. You know what I mean? And it's terrible. It's terrible. So there is no excuse for them firing weapons into civilian areas, but at the same time, I'm not entirely convinced that they even know what targets they're shooting at. I think their commanders say the enemy is here and they press the button. I don't think that, because, I know I'm reiterating stuff, but there are captured or surrendered troops that are all telling the same story, that they didn't even know they were in Ukraine until they were told, you guys are fighting in Ukraine, by the way. They were, they're told that they're on some training exercise until the training targets are shooting back at them. And you have officers that are either captured or surrendered who have been telling the exact same story all over the place, that they were told, you cannot tell any of your troops, nobody sergeant and below is allowed to know that we are invading another country right now. So they had no logistics set up. They had no prep for this. Their troops had no idea what's going on and no training to do it. So, what a fucking fiasco. Anyway, and the Russians have lost 4 high-ranking generals because we lost 1 general officer in all of Afghanistan and Iraq because it was a green on blue, which meant that an officer in the Afghan army was actually on base and went and basically killed Americans around him. We never lost a general officer in combat because general officers aren't supposed to be in combat. They're having to send their generals ahead to try to re-piece together this war effort. And it's just, anyway, it's terrible. What's the first weapon you're going for if the world goes into complete chaos? Well, the first weapon I'm going for is a multi-band UHF VHF radio. That's the first weapon I'm going for, because more people in the history of combat have been laid to rest by a good radio operator, a good tactical controller, and their radio being able to call in fire and support than anything else. So number one, I know that from personal firsthand experience. The second thing I'm going for is my AR, because I have it tuned in the way I want it. And I have lots of ammo for it. That's what I'm going to do. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rally up at El Rancho de Darren's, where I know there are many more weapons and everything. But that's, you know what? Why am I doing? Is the AR the finest weapon ever built? Of course not. But it's what I'm trained on, what I have experience on. And you know what? A weapon system that a troop has training and experience on is worth its weight in gold compared to the fanciest, best weapon that they've never used in their life. So that's just my theory. The first knife I'm going for is probably my Benchmade A10. It's probably the Contigo. Honestly, that's probably what I'm carrying. And then maybe with like the AD10 as a backup. That's probably if I had to go out tonight, that's what would be in my pocket. And then maybe a Manix XL. I could go on and on, but yeah, that's the first thing that I would think of. 2A, you worry about the house. I get it. It's expensive. Yeah, it's true. Like whatever you're good at, that's what you should have. And that's, I mean, if you think about it, one of the things that made the Americans so good, the rebels in the Revolutionary War, is that each man was equipped with his own musket or rifle. And he had spent years and years and years hunting with that particular, piece of kit and knew the ins and outs of that exact thing. And when, you had forces like the Green Mountain Boys out there doing their guerrilla warfare, they were using the same firearms that they had been carrying and using their whole lives, sometimes the ones that their fathers used. So they were there. That experience and knowing the ins and outs of that system is invaluable. You cannot put a price tag on that. Anyway, how close do you think America is to getting? I've been talking to my guys and gals and tactical llamas that are still in. We are nowhere near getting involved militarily. We will jump through several hoops to not get involved militarily. We are still recovering from the fiasco and, the 20 years. And we're not going to put troops on the ground there anytime soon. Anytime. NATO is going to great lengths to avoid bumping heads with the Russian forces. still security of the NATO countries that share borders with Ukraine, but we are not anywhere near getting militarily involved. And that's one of the reasons that Poland kind of sucker punched us with the whole, we'll give them MiG-29s, we'll fly them to a U.S. airbase in Germany, and then blah, blah, blah. We're like, oh, no. You're not, you share a border with them. You could truck them right across the border. They could sneak in the middle of the night and fly them over. Poland did not want to risk that military confrontation with Russia. They tried to pawn it off on us. And then we said, oh, we're not doing that. And it got played into the United States told Poland they could not give their MiGs to Ukraine. And that was never what it was. It was, you're not flying them the opposite direction to a U.S. airbase and then having us deliver them. That's what we said. And plus, the thing is, the MiGs that the MiG-29s that Poland has are very old MiG-29 Fulcrum A's. The MiG-29s that Ukraine has are MiG-29 MU-1s, which are very advanced in comparison. And there's some NATO type equipment in those. So number one, the MiG-20, their MiG-29s are garbage MiG-29s. The Polish MiG-29s, they're not good at all. They're missile bait. And there's some NATO friendly equipment to help them operate in a joint NATO environment that would have to be removed from those aircraft before they could even be delivered. And in a propaganda, the Ukrainians have been great at winning the propaganda war. And to hand over these inferior MiG-29s that would not have the capability to perform the way that their Ukrainian MiGs do, it would be a propaganda bonanza for the Russians to be able to say, look, they got all these MiGs, they're all getting shot down. Well, of course they are. They suck. They're old, they're crappy, and they have not been updated at all. I'm sorry. So yeah, they wouldn't be. Anyway, that's a whole separate issue. So we're not going to get involved. We're not. Hey Nick, how are you doing? Yes, I think it would. Yes, I think that is. You never telegraph what you're definitely going to do. You want the enemy to always think that is an option. I think that what you should do is say, listen, we're not going to tell you what we're going to do. But at the same time, in this one case with Putin, talking about nukes and this and that, I think Putin is just crazy enough to think that he might need them. So maybe in this one case, it was worth it to say, dude, keep your finger away from the damn button. We're not doing it. Maybe just in this one case. I don't know. David, you can send me things to share on the stream, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it right now because I'm not set up to do it right now. Maybe next week we can coordinate to do that. Yeah. So, when you're used to it, I knew you meant soldiers. I've said the word shoulders instead of soldiers myself. I get it. It's okay. But yeah, when you're used to it, it's not that big a deal. Let me tell you, not to turn it around, not to take away from what you said, but to piggyback. Oh, God, I said piggyback. Oh, I hate myself. To follow up on what you said, though, like, I get it. During the whole 9/11 thing, to grow up where you're not used to seeing soldiers or shoulders on the streets, either one, and then to see all of a sudden armed troops like patrolling for your own good, for your own safety, but to see them on the streets, that's a disconcerting thing. That throws people off. Thanks, 2A. I was saying this is in the beginning. This is the 1 Charlie 5 Delta, the Master Qualification Weapons Director Air Force occupational badge that is earned for becoming a weapons director at the master level. It's not given. This is not just a badge you go to tech school and earn. This is one that you have to. This is above and beyond. So this is the badge that said I could talk to airplanes and tell them where to shoot missiles and where to drop bombs and who are bad guys and who are good guys and stuff like that. And then once you reach a certain level, you get the star and the reach. So So the arrowhead, I'm trying to point at things that don't actually exist. Wow. Now I understand actors when they do these movies with CGI, it's hard. So the arrowhead is the this is the thing that says, you know, directing combat, and then when you basic one has nothing on top of it. I suck at this. The basic one has nothing on top of it, and then your senior level has just a star, and then your master level has the wreath and the star in it, which is not to be confused with Army combat badges like the combat infantry badge, jump wings. Jump wings are not combat, but you get a star for every combat jump. But the combat field medical badge that I have, I would make a shit. This is absolutely true. I'd make a shitty weatherman. Although, wait. If I did it weatherman style, see, I can do this much better. I can say, look, a cold front is coming in to the wreath. No, I make a shitty weatherman. I already screwed it up. Sorry, you're right. Make a shitty weatherman. It's true. Okay. So, yeah, 2A, you missed it. I got a green screen and everything. We had Tato back there one day for a day. We had the DocP logo back there and all sorts of stuff. So like on Army combat badges, like the combat infantry badge, combat medical badge, each additional campaign, or not campaign, but war you fight in, you get a star above it to show that. The star, the Air Force has a different thing and different whatever, but anyway, so that's what that is. So one of my Big D asked what I'm drinking tonight. No alcohol tonight, just some caffeine, just some Blue Mountain Dew to get me up and going. So let's see. So we did our last giveaway for the channel, and we did the Not a 940. I'm going to get that shipped off this week. Is this even going to show up, or is this going to green screen on me? It's yellow. It's yellow screening on me. What the hell? What is going on? There is no logic, rhyme, or reason to how this green. I'm not only am a shitty weatherman, I'm a shitty technology guy. All right, so let's figure out how this works. I'm going to have to turn the virtual background off for a minute. There it is, me. Look. This is like the behind the scenes, the outtakes. So we did the 940, right? The Not a 940, which I actually have right here because it's getting shipped off this week. So we gave this away. This has a new owner. In the box that I did the video for, if Putin uses nukes, how far you think we throw back civilization, early industrial age? If we do a full nuclear release, we're going back to pre-human era. There's nothing. Like, I mean, honestly, if we really did, I think we go back to Bronze Age type stuff. I mean, maybe not. Maybe medieval, but we pre-industrial. So anyway, so this is the Wesson Allman. This is the higher end. This is the all titanium version. And this is when I Boba Fetted up a bunch of knives. Sharpest channel, I have to get back to you on what is my favorite battle box mission. I have to go back and review videos and think about that. I'm not sure. So this is one that I Boba Fetted up. All right. Thanks for stopping in, Big B. So this is going to be the next giveaway. And this is not a cheap one. This is not a cheap knife. This is not only is the actual knife itself got a nice price tag attached to it, but you get a custom job by me. You get the custom Boba Fett finish, which I think is worth its weight in Imperial credits, Beskar, and possibly Quatlus. So there you go. So now the reason I decided to do this, you guys will find out when you watch the unboxing, probably tomorrow or Friday, of the EDC club box. But this is pretty nice. I mean, EDC wise, I know a lot of people are turned off by the big blunty shape of the tip on this, but for EDC purposes, the Wesson Allman is a really nice knife. Like I said, full titanium frame, S35 VN blade, Cerakote finish, done in the shop. Is pretty nice. Let's get a new picture up in the background. Let's go to Tato Vision. Yeah. And of course, I'm sitting in the middle, so you can't see the happy doggy. So anyway, we're going to do that. We're going to be giving that away. I didn't plug the computer in, guys, so this is going to be short on purpose. You want a knife weapon? I want meat flour. Deal. You know, skills and stuff. If I ever win a giveaway, I definitely want Doc to sign the blade. You know what, Carrie? If you win, I will sign the blade. I will sign the blade. Or I could put a card in it, like Hinderer does, and sign the card so that you don't have a big signature all over your blade. I can do that for you. I mean, it's up to you. I'll give you whatever you want. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's really up to you. What's the worst knife you've ever bought? The worst knife I ever bought, and this is going way back to my time in the Army as a young, E-nothing, was either an M-Tech or a TAC Force. I can't remember the brand, but it was, it was, I can't even remember. It was one of those. And, I paid like $30 for it I've told the story at the PX. Some guy who assured me it was of the finest materials and it was, the coolest this and that. And, I was a moron and, I didn't know anything about knives then. And I paid for it. I bought it. I thought it was going to be cool. And then one of my instructors in medic school saw it and he was like, what the hell is that piece of crap? And I was like, oh, it's my new knife. Look how cool it is. It's this and that. And he's like, it is a piece of crap. And he just basically, Shay's like, you paid how much for this? And I said, I paid $30 for it. And he's like, you got so ripped off. And I'm like, no, the guy told me da-da-da. And he just basically like took it and like with no effort went think and snapped the thing in half. And then he gave me a bench main. He said, this is my knife. Take this knife. Learn about knives. He gave me a bench main. And he's like, this is a real knife. Take this knife. Back then it was, it was different. So yeah, but that was the worst knife I ever bought in my life. It was much worse. I just found out about Mantis knives, and I can't believe I didn't know this. Did you know Mantis knives are the same guys that owned Quartermaster knives? Look at Tato. He's looking at you. I miss the Tato boy. But yeah, so those guys, if you're familiar with the Quartermaster fiasco and all of their stuff, they own Mantis now. The guys who did the Gearhead. Makes you wonder. No, it doesn't. Now that I'm rewatching Game of Thrones again for like the 4th or 5th time, I feel like this should be full of mead or ale or blackberry pear brandy or whatever. Remember, do you guys remember when I was insistent on drinking wine because they did it in Game of Thrones? Got me a knife from the mall. Oh, from the mall. As soon as you say my sister got me a knife from the mall, a sharpening rod. Oh my God. You guys got to see this. I'm putting this up there. You just read it for a minute. That is awful. Awful. Terrible. Master replay. Craig, I watched a little bit of Vikings. Just a little bit. But, it was not on HBO, so it didn't have as much blood and gore and stuff. I have seen a Civivi that was like $400. And I was thinking to myself, you're Civivi. You're supposed to be the affordable brand. What are you doing? And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that the Civivi knife was that much. It blew my mind. I couldn't do it. Also, in upcoming channel news, by the way, I still have, I know it's behind, but remember they were slow to get them to me, like they had to make it up. I have barrel and blade for February to do. Even though we just did March, we did January, we did March. I have the February box to catch up on. So we'll see that sometime soon. I also have another company who just contacted me looking to have me check out their tactical holsters and plate carriers. I'm really more interested in the plate carriers, to tell you the truth, but I will check out the holsters and I'll see what they've got. And then you guys, have you seen Bree? You guys have seen Bree on the channel. I mean, you have to be real viewers of the channel for a long time to remember Bree. But we'll see if Bree's going to do the photography. Hold on, let's see. What would Putin have to do to the civilians of the Ukraine for NATO to draw the line? NATO is not going to act without a vote from the UN, without sanction from the UN, unless they actually attack a NATO country. NATO as an organization will not do it without a sanction from the UN. Now, if they use chemical weapons, if they use nukes, if they start executing civilians, we might go to the UN and say it won't be a NATO operation. It'll be a UN operation at that point, not just NATO. At a knife shop in Georgia. Yeah, I never liked the Barrage. The Barrage was just, it's not, I like the Griptilian a lot. I don't like the Barrage. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. I want to believe this is really Peter North, because, that would be quite an accomplishment to have Peter North watching my videos, because I've watched a lot of Peter North's videos, so I mean, that would be cool. But I don't know. I have a Civil War Rebel double-bladed knife from Robert E. Lee, pay $200,000. Well, that is cool either way. I mean, if that's really Peter North, you can choose to believe it is or not. But I choose to believe it really is Peter North, because why would it not be? Because what an odd thing to lie about. So thank you, Peter North, that I'm deciding is the real Peter North. And great career to you. Thank you. The Mediator is, I've never tried the Mediator. It's one of the models I've never had. Who is Riley Reed? Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Emerson knives. A lot of people don't like Emerson for some reason. I like them. I don't love them. I think that they are good. I think they're made well. I don't think they're any better than a lot of the other ones on the market. I have a CQC7 that my dad told me a long time ago. And my dad has a extensive secret squirrel background, and he told me that the CQC7 was the way to go for pocket knife once upon a time. So I got one because I had to have one, and it's okay. I like the fact that all of his hardware is nothing is some crazy torque size that everything is Phillips head or otherwise very easy to use. But it's it is what it is. Your favorite fighting? My favorite fighting knife is the only one I'm really trained to do anything with. It's the M9 bayonet. I'm not trained to fight with knives. I'm not. So it's the only thing that I'm not Jason Bourne. I don't know how to. I'm not that guy from the movie with Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro. I can't remember the name, and he comes up all the time. But I'm not a dude who knows how to do all that stuff. I know how to thrust, parry, and slash with an M9. I know that. And one knife you were excited to get but disappointed when you got it was the Benchmade Infidel. I was really excited to get the Benchmade Infidel, because it was the Benchmade Infidel. And then I got it, and it was like, nah. I got lower cost OTF automatic knives from other brands that just were better. The axial shift is so much of a better OTF knife than the Benchmade Infidel, not Infidel, but like for such a lower cost. Yeah, hey, if you need a quality spice wallet, I've got a Bushcraft model that might be right up your alley. I was very disappointed to get the Benchmade Infidel, very much. All right, Carrie, you take care of kid stuff. That's important. You know what? I'm going to have to go soon too, because I just got the message that battery is running low. I didn't plug it in. Plus, I have a very important conversation I have to get back to. Just I want you guys to be on the lookout for the giveaway video for the Wesson Boba, which is semi-transparent now. The farther away it gets, the less transparent it is. David, I do want the if you got a better trade, go for it. Oh, favorite MRE meal before you sign off? Good old beef stew. The old dark brown packaged beef stew will always be my favorite MRE, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Anyway, guys, let me thank you for your time tonight. I know I'm cutting this short, but like I said, I got a very important conversation to get back to. Is a 940 better quality than the Barrage? Absolutely, Roman. Yes, it is. Any model of the Barrage is better quality. Any model of the 940 is better quality than any Barrage, for sure. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining me tonight for a shortened live stream. I'm going to go have a little more to drink and lay down for a little bit, and maybe feed the boys. Maybe. Who knows? But remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. And I will be back again real soon.